Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we turn our attention to a topic that affects millions of Americans across the country: retirees, seniors, and those depending on Social Security for their financial security. The Social Security Administration has just announced a cost of living adjustment for 2026. That's right, a 2.8% increase in benefits, which translates to roughly $56 more per month for nearly 71 million beneficiaries, including retirees and disabled individuals. For those receiving supplemental security income, around 7.5 million Americans, this increase begins at the end of December 2025. Now, some of you might be thinking, $56 isn't a lot. And you would be right. But let's take a moment to understand what this really means. The economic context. The last few years have been extraordinary. In 2023, Social Security beneficiaries received an 8.7% increase, the largest in 40 years, driven by record-high inflation. In 2024, the increase was 3.2%. And in 2025, it was 2.5%. This year's adjustment, 2.8%, reflects a slowing of inflation, a sign that the economy is stabilizing. But let me be clear, while this increase is designed to keep up with prices, for many seniors it doesn't fully match the rising costs of everyday life. Recent AARP polls show that 77% of Americans over 50 believe that a 3% cost of living increase simply isn't enough. These concerns cross political lines. It's not just Democrats or Republicans. This is a shared concern for the American senior population. The reality of living costs. Consider Florence, South Carolina. According to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, a single adult living alone will spend more than $10,000 a year just on housing, over $3,000 on medical expenses, and nearly $4,000 on food. Take the story of Linda Diaz, an 80-year-old retiree who moved from New York to South Carolina. In just 2 years, her rent rose by $400 a month. Food, auto insurance, and other essentials are more expensive than ever. She says, and I quote, "If you have been into the supermarkets lately, you will notice how prices are going up, not down." And Linda is not alone. Millions of seniors feel this squeeze every day. Policy and funding. The Social Security Administration funds these cost of living adjustments through payroll taxes, collected from both workers and employers. The maximum taxable earnings are rising to $184,500 in 2026, up from $176,100 in 2025. But here's the challenge. The Social Security trust funds are projected to be unable to pay full benefits by 2034. At that point, without legislative action, benefits could drop to just 81% of the scheduled amounts. These are serious numbers, and they highlight the urgency for policymakers to act. Social Security isn't just a line item on the federal budget, it's the lifeline for tens of millions of Americans. Recent legislative efforts. There have been efforts to ease financial pressures. Former President Trump introduced a temporary tax deduction for retirees aged 65 and older. And in 2024, President Biden repealed 2 policies, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, that previously limited payouts for roughly 2.8 million retirees. These steps have helped, no doubt. But they also add complexity and, some argue, contribute to the long-term funding challenges. It's a balancing act. How do we help seniors today while making sure Social Security lasts for decades to come? Administrative challenges. The Social Security Administration has faced its own internal struggles, workforce reductions, policy missteps, and public uncertainty about the program's future. Officials have even sparked debate over the possibility of raising the retirement age, though those statements were later clarified. These kinds of mixed messages can make it harder for seniors to plan their finances. Experts, like Emerson Sprick of the Bipartisan Policy Center, stress that while COLA adjustments provide short-term relief, they cannot solve the structural challenges Social Security faces. Comprehensive reforms are necessary, and they are urgent. Why this matters for the economy. Social Security benefits are not just checks, they are economic engines. Every dollar spent by seniors circulates in the economy, supporting small businesses, local economies, and jobs across the country. Estimates suggest that every dollar in Social Security benefits generates nearly $1.80 in economic activity. So, when benefits are delayed, reduced, or insufficient, the effects ripple outward, affecting everyone, not just retirees. Looking ahead, the 2026 COLA of 2.8% is a positive step. It helps millions of Americans maintain their independence and dignity. But it is modest, and it cannot solve the deeper challenges: rising living costs, projected funding shortfalls, and an aging population. Policymakers must act. Solutions may include adjustments to the retirement age, reforms to revenue collection, or changes to benefit formulas. The stakes are high. The health of Social Security affects not only retirees but the broader economy as well. Closing. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2026 COLA is more than a number. It is a reflection of the government's attempt to balance fairness, fiscal responsibility, and economic reality. But it is also a reminder that we must plan, prepare, and continue the conversation about the future of Social Security. For retirees, it's modest relief. For the nation, it's a call to action. Ensuring Social Security stability is essential, not just for today's seniors, but for the generations to come. Thank you for your attention. This has been your detailed business and finance briefing on Social Security's 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment.